It's the Weekly Wrap with your host, broadcasting legend Bruce Wolf, and his trusty sidekick, comedian Tim Slagle. And now, without further ado, Bruce Wolf.
Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. And now my favorite part of the show, wherein I guess what is in Tim's background today. And I'm going to say they have finally removed Joe Biden from the podium from the State of the Union, which was a couple of days ago. He still thinks he's supposed to be giving a speech. Am I right about that?
You are not correct, sir.
Oh, okay.
It seems that Trump's going to have a hard time making bail.
Oh, there we go. I mean, that is a difficulty. That might be the thing that does Trump in, right? It's not.
They can only hope.
Yeah, I mean, just to bankrupt him. It's a great gambit because the actual litigation against him was kind of fizzling, and by the way, we're taping this 6 months ahead of time, so we don't know which way.
Yeah, there might already be. It might already change. So.
Right.
But counselor, isn't that an Eighth Amendment violation? Isn't excessive bail
I only went
expressly prohibited in the Constitution?
I only got past the first 7 amendments. I really don't test me on this anymore. And then I went right into personal injury law. So this is an evergreen story. Rachel, do you say Levine? Do you say man, woman? What do you say about Rachel, the admiral? Who said that?
I think admiral works.
Okay, there we go.
And the pronoun I think is your highness.
Yeah, Rachel Levine said that blacks' mental issues arise out of climate change. The black community is angry. She said, global warming is causing mental and physical changes in the black community. Now, I got to tell you something. When Donald Trump got in trouble for saying that, he can relate to black people because he's getting arrested all the time, and the ABC News president said that was racist. I mean, I interpreted my gut reaction to Trump saying that was he was trying to relate to the unjustified incarceration of blacks, and he's unjustified. So he was trying to portray himself as the next Medgar Evers right there, which would be a chutzpah on his part, but he was trying to align himself with the underclass when he said that. Or maybe I have it wrong.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what Rachel is doing. Rachel is pretending that her highness has never heard of the stereotype of good in the heat.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So it harms them. It's
yeah, right. No, global warming is hurting black. Hey, here's the thing. I mean, the standard argument against the climate alarmists was you're hurting people who rely on cheap energy. Sure,
absolutely.
You're the rich people. The rich people can always afford this, as they fly to Davos in their private jets and establish the greatest carbon footprint known to man. But the poorer you are, the more you need. The old-fashioned
the best example I like to point out is that there was a famine in Ukraine where millions of people starved to death. Granted, it was purposeful and intentional, but the reason why that happened at the exact same time as the famine in Oklahoma. And the reason why the Okies were able to survive and the Ukrainians were not is that Ukrainians relied on the trains. Whereas the Okies were able to buy a cheap car, gas it up, and drive to California.
And I mean, you didn't see John Steinbeck writing a novel about the Ukrainians. It would have had no story. Everybody would have just dropped dead right there. You wouldn't have had, the end of the story where the guy is it? Do I remember the Grapes of Wrath right? That at the very end, the one of the Jodes or whatever actually needs to get breast milk from
that's no, it's not even one of the Jodes. It's just a stranger they met on the train that's starving to death. and who needs milk, and one of the Jodes unbuttons her shirt. So,
Yeah.
and that's the
all right,
last of that. That was not in the movie. that did not make it into the movie. I don't know if it was in the play. How could you not do it in the
tell
play?
Me about the rabbits, Tom. Tell me about. Oh, I got the wrong Steinbeck book right now. Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's probably apocryphal, but the story is that they only showed the Grapes of Wrath one time in the Soviet Union. Is that they had great hopes that this American movie would show the true, how evil capitalism was, and during one showing, they're watching this, and the people in the theater are going, they got cars, yeah. They all got
we
cars.
Could have done out there.
where
Natasha, let's go.
Even the poor have cars.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. It's amazing how those things backfire. So meantime, I love this is a quote for all time. And I never want to malign somebody. I'm sure it was taken out of context, but Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm always, trying to look at her in a benign way. But she was talking about one of the judges in the Trump case, and she said that the judge should be disrobed. Now, that's not bad. I mean, it kind of works. It reminds malapropisms that work. There used to be a Sun-Times TV critic named Bill Granger, and he had a kid who had some learning disabilities, and the kid had come up with a malapropism, happy birth cake. And, that makes sense. And so does that a judge should be disrobed.
Absolutely.
It works. It's colorful.
What is it really? What is it really called?
A disbarment, I think. That's
that means that's
well. I mean,
that means you lose your law license.
Well, I mean, what would you do? So debenched. So
debenched.
Yeah, debenched.
I like disrobed. I really like disrobed.
It actually, I got to admit, it works for me.
It's we're not in England, we're not in the UK, so you can't say dewigged.
There we go. So let's go from MTG to MBD. This is going to be serious talk. Michael Brendan Doherty is a writer for review, and I think I took off after him like last week or so, based on a Kevin Williamson piece, because when Tucker Carlson did his crazy thing, talk about lionizing the Soviet Union or Putin and their grocery stores, Michael Brendan Doherty, who is actually he's sympathetic to Carlson, and everybody calls National Review the Rhino publication, but he works for them and he's sympathetic to Carlson. So his reaction to Carlson was a snide remark about women from Russia who've come over to work, I guess, like a nail salon in New York and complaining about New York. I mean, the answer to that is, why did they have to come here? Because they needed the money, as Andrew Dice Clay might have responded. Anyway,
the nail salon, they don't come for the nail salon, do they? The Russian women?
They whatever they do, they're not coming here because nobody wants to leave their country. Okay. They have. So anyway, so it was, but he got knocked down, and properly so for that. However, he comes up with good stuff too. And he had this piece basically about how young people, the standard way you grow up is that you become more conservative as you get older. And he said, that's not really what's happening. This article is called "The Link Between Age and Conservatism is Breaking." And he says it's not really happening now because the young people, as they get older, have no stake in property or in the community, and they're isolated. It's the old bowling alone thing, and there's got to be truth to that. And the long-term consequences of this, thank God, neither one of us is going to be around to see it, but it just seems like that's true. No? Yes.
Well, what I see is that every generation tries to find a way to upset their parents, and I think what you've got right now is you've got a lot of woke parents, and there's only one way that you could really irritate your woke parents is to come home in a Trump hat.
Exactly, and that's the article that Chris was just showing right now about a mother being worried that her son is going to be a Trumpian. Yeah. No, maybe generation skipping, I guess. But I thought for sure that I mean, there is something to be said that, you got a lot of these gamers and whatever, the stereotypical thing that they just don't have a stake. They're not getting married as much. They're not having kids. I feel guilty about that and feel like, you know what? Maybe I'll go with Ari Emanuel, who said people should live to be 75. That's about it. And then if we saved all the Medicare from that and gave it to the young people, maybe they could buy a house. I don't know. I don't know. I still want to, have a golf round below 80 again before I die. Is it okay for me to get all this Medicare and Social Security in order to do it? I don't know. But there is something to that.
You could always transition and hit from the easy tees.
Oh no. And it doesn't count. Did you see where the SAT, the colleges are now, you talk about, they're waking up, but perhaps too late. They're going back to the SAT. Remember, they abandoned it because it was supposedly racist. And
Sure.
now the elite universities are going back to it. You know why they're going back to it? Because it's the most accurate predictor of success in college. That's why. And it really wasn't racist. But that's what they're doing. They also found that, these Asian tiger mothers who would get their kids to study, that you could beat the SAT just by studying, because it didn't really
wait, hold it.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to.
What a strange concept.
I'm telling you, you shouldn't be able to, to do better on a test just because you study. But and also Charles Murray said that they really should test for vocabulary and analogies in order to use your brain power as opposed to, all this rote stuff. My solution: just have the students fill out games of Mad Libs. And I call dibs on pasta fazool, when an exclamation is called for. But but they're going back to it. They're going back, and maybe too late for the universities because they're already too far gone, down the woke road. But they are doing it. So maybe there is hope. We're skipping a generation and going back to actually going to a university based on a merit. Agreed?
Yeah, and when certain people can't get into the colleges because they can't get into good at SAT, they go to trade school. We need more people in the trades.
Did you see where Amy Wax, the law professor at Penn, and you'd think that Penn would be on probation right now because their president got fired because the hearing before Congress. She had said that she'd never had any blacks finishing in the top quarter of her classes or anything like that, and it was all true. But she got reprimanded, and I think they were going to dock her pay because she wasn't supposed to say that. Okay, all right, I get it. The truth hurts, and we should ignore it from time to time. I totally get it. So we don't want to hurt people's feelings. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap.
This morning, the high cost of food is taking a toll on consumers and businesses. And now a big change could be coming in the fast food industry.
2 Dave singles.
How much would it cost? Wendy's will soon test a plan to fluctuate its menu prices based on the time of day, the location, and demand. It would be similar to the surge pricing used by ride-sharing companies like Uber.
Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. And it's something we brought up last week, but there's been a surge in interest over the week, and should we?
Well, actually, Wendy's has come out now. I don't know if you saw this. They're saying, "Oh no, we did not intend to raise prices during the peak hours. We're going to lower them during the off-peak hours." Which you don't have to be an accountant to realize that's the exact same thing.
Right. And I saw Burger King was tweeting, "Oh, you're gonna have it your way. We're never gonna change our prices." Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Have you been to a Burger King lately? That's quality control needs to improve in that franchise.
Yeah. So speaking of the fast food, did you see that a fillet of fish has only half a slice of cheese on it.
I don't understand cheese on fish to begin
Well,
with.
yeah.
It
Okay.
always kind of sounded black to me. It's
Yeah, but
even at a
apparently
Subway
only
when they say, "What kind of cheese do you want on your tuna?" It's like, really?
ugh.
Do people?
Um,
I know,
it
I
was
know.
actually, normally, how I do this stuff. I like to read tweets and then I like to intuit the rest of the story. I'm too lazy to actually read the story. So this is one I was kind of hoping you had the answer for, because I don't really know why they don't have more than half a slice of cheese. But
I
I
don't
was
know why they
thinking,
have any cheese.
yeah, well, there you go. But I was thinking maybe this was part of the shrinkflation that Joe Biden, and we're actually, we'll have to have the benefit of hindsight, but I'm sure that he mentioned it in his State of the Union, that, and he railed about how there was only half a slice of cheese on a fillet of fish, and it wanted corporate America to pay for it, as well as the surge pricing that Wendy's is coming up with. It's about time that,
Have you noticed ice cream cones are getting smaller?
Are they really?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Biden would have. No, he wouldn't
I would make
remember.
them smaller for Joe Biden, because he's so feeble that the cone might fall apart in his hands. It might start dripping right down his sleeve. It'd be difficult. So, a while back, people were making a big deal about the fact that Chicago's Mayor Johnson went to the Grammys, on the taxpayers' dime. But Kim Fox got to go to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, why
Sure.
why didn't Mayor Johnson get to go to the Grammys? That only seems fair to me.
Does he actually have a hit?
No, he's pretty much whiffed on everything, including the shot spotter contract, which he wound up paying more for an extension than he would have paid for a year, because he forgot to get them to agree to the deal before he announced it. Maybe he could have brought along one very lucky migrant to the Grammys with him. But anyway, let's go back to fast food for a second. I saw this tweet about healthier French fries. And I was thinking, oh, wow, this is terrific, because, yeah, it was Channel 9. A healthier and tastier French fry and potato chip may be on the horizon. And this is a story I actually did read. And was I disappointed? Because unless I read it wrong, all it was going to do was reduce the chance of getting cancer from French fries. I don't care about that. I care about whether it's going to make me fat or not.
What actually is in French fries that cause cancer? I did not
Who
know.
knows?
I guess if you light them,
I don't know, but I was disappointed.
Get...
I was absolutely disappointed.
Well, I'm old enough to remember the Olestra craze. Do you remember that?
Oh my God!
It came out, and it was going to be a miracle. It was going to be like a 0-calorie potato chip and 0-calorie French fries.
Yeah, it wound up with about 150,000 square miles of intestines being removed from Americans, if I recall. I remember Valerie Harper, remember from Rhoda?
Yeah.
She would come on our show, on the Fox Morning Show, and it was such a big thrill to have Valerie Harper on. We'd sing the Rhoda theme, la 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 la, and she was shilling for Olestra. And, I mean, it's just like, it's tough to get gigs in Hollywood.
It's for our young listeners. Olestra called what was the way they described it? It was like may cause severe diarrhea or something like that. It was like a very
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was kind of tough.
It was the warning they had to put on the chip bag.
So I don't know what you've been watching lately. My wife and I, we got done watching The Office, which to me is like one of the best series I've ever seen in my life. I had so many belly laughs from it. But so we thought a change, we'd have a change of pace. So we watched this movie, this Mark Wahlberg movie. It's a comedy called The Family Plan. Did you hear about this one?
I have not.
Okay. So, he's like a guy who's in hiding because he used to be part of like a paramilitary outfit with the government or whatever.
Okay.
And, and it's kind of neat. He's in hiding and he's got this family that doesn't even know about his past. And I'd say like the first 10 minutes are pretty good, including the scene that we're kind of showing here where he's in a grocery store with a baby on the pouch and he winds up facing a potential assassin, and the whole store. I mean, clean up on aisles 5 through 12. It was great. It was and it was fun. But then the rest of the movie is the same thing. It's one thing after another. The dialogue is so ridiculous, and it was stupid. As a matter of fact, I was actually thinking, is this one of those satires that I don't get, like the Will Ferrell one about the woman across the street with the Corningware that she drops every time she tries to traverse the street? It wasn't. It was just plain stupid. And then,
well, that was that Bob Odenkirk film, wasn't it? Did you see that? I think it was Nobody, and it was the same kind of thing. It was the guy was like just a family guy, just a normal family guy with a past of being like a Navy SEAL or something like that, but a SEAL team.
But I mean, did they play that for laughs, or was it a serious movie? Was it a Better Call Saul kind of thing, or?
I think there was a little bit of lighthearted humor in it.
Okay,
well,
there was no
wasn't
art.
all.
There was no art to this. It was even I have low standards. I thought it was, you have expected Dr. Evil's son to walk in at any moment and say, just shoot him now. Dad, no, we got to keep the movie going. Then we saw the next night we watched, because there must be 3 or 4 of these movies already, the Keanu Reeves franchise, John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see any of those?
I made it through John Wick 1.
Yeah, us too. And it was like,
it's like 1,100 murders is is equal in value to the life of one dog.
Totally. Don't mess with my dog.
Oh my God! And the people that killed his dog, they shoot worse than stormtroopers.
Oh yeah, they were awful. To another example where and then of course Mark Wahlberg, he gets into a big fight, and okay, let's leave aside the fact that he didn't get shot, it wasn't even grazed, with about 25,000 bullets, and he took out 15 guys in that one scene. But then he's taken off his shirt in front of his girlfriend, I guess, and they're in front of a mirror, and he doesn't even have a bruise. He doesn't even have a scratch. So, anyway,
are we up to? I think we're up to John
maybe I'm
Wick.
thinking of Mark Wahlberg. I'm thinking of Mark Wahlberg there, but Keanu Reeves, it was the same thing. It was just, I had heard that it was such a good movie, and this whole franchise, and you got to see it.
Yeah, we're up to John Wick 5 now, right?
Yeah. What could you possibly learn that you didn't learn it's like the Perry Mason episodes. Errol Stanley Garner. It was the same thing every time.
Well, is he still in John Wick 2? Is he still out in vengeance for his dog, or does he get another dog?
That's probably
it seems after like 4 dogs, you're not going to get another dog. It's like, well, I gotta fall in love with this dog, and they're going to kill it again. I just know it.
I don't know. I think I'm just going to wait for another remake of The Office. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap.
And that's the Weekly Wrap on radio and television. Follow Bruce at Bruce Wolf Shy on Twitter and Tim at timslagle.com. The Weekly Wrap with Bruce Wolf, a CP Pods production.